Harry
agree?
Kane is the best English striker
Wait,
ever.
wait, what? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the D. Atletico have been crumbling in recent weeks in the La Liga. They had a 10-point gap at the top with a few games in hand, and now the gap has been closed to 1 point. Real Madrid knocking on the doorstep.
I mean, I think this is just going to show what Real Madrid can do. Everybody was, me included. I was discounting them at the start of the season, saying like, oh, like they're not good. Like, get a new manager, all this stuff. They've shown recently that they are still good. They can still play. They can still win. I mean, they haven't lost in I think 7 games or 8 games, something like that in league,
Right.
and and I think it's just very impressive. They've proved the world that they don't need a Ronaldo. They won last year. They're I think they're gonna win this year. And I think they're just out to prove everybody wrong.
So Atletico obviously have been crumbling in recent weeks, like I've said. They've got big games coming up. They've got 8 games left. There's 8 games left in the season for all teams, I think. Barcelona is one of the fixtures. Is this a open doorway for Real Madrid? Because one team's going to drop points, either Barcelona or Atletico in this fixture.
It's kind of hard to say because Real Madrid could drop points as well. They're although they have been consistent, we've seen them lose to some easier teams before. We've seen Barcelona lose to some easier teams and Atletico Madrid. So I think all of them we're going to see drop points in the next 8 games to maybe some lower teams. But I think it's going to be tight right until the end. I think it's going to be a last week decision.
Now, are you ruling out Barcelona for the title? You think it's between Madrid and Atletico?
I do. I think it is between the Madrids because I love Barcelona, but I don't think they have the depth that they need for these last 8 games. That Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid are two very deep teams and two very well coached teams, and I'd say Barcelona is one of the teams that is just not coached very well. I don't think Koeman's doing a good job. I mean, it's kind of just Messi and Griezmann, and then a couple of other guys. I think next year they're going to be much better. They're getting a lot more, youngsters into the team, but this year I think I'm going to count them out.
I think I can count them out as well. Unfortunately, I would like to see Barcelona back on top of Spain. I've always preferred them over Madrid anyway. But Atletico Madrid, I really think they still have a chance to win. If they can pull off a result against Barcelona, I think the league's theirs, obviously, unless they lose the next 3 games coming up. But they've got arguably pretty easy opponents. We've seen them drop points to easy opponents, but they've got Bilbao coming up. They've got Villarreal, I believe. And they've got some of the easier ones, Osasuna being one of them. Barcelona is pretty much the only huge fixture they have left. They're not playing Madrid again. They've already played Barca once. If they can get a result against Barcelona and can continue decent form, I'm not saying you have to win every single game, but I think Atletico still has the upper hand right now, despite them, dropping 9 points or whatever it was in the last 5 games.
Yeah, and I think also, Atletico Madrid was probably rooting for Real Madrid to go through in the Champions League because Real Madrid still has to focus on Champions League, where you have Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. All they have to focus on right now is league, and I think that gives both those teams the upper hand. But Real Madrid, I think, will be able to pull it off, but it's going to be tight. But again, I think Barcelona is just out of it. I don't think they have the depth they need.
Now, do you think it helps Barcelona and Atletico Madrid the fact that Real Madrid has 2 upcoming Champions League fixtures, with injuries possibly and rest issues and squad rotation? Is that going to affect them at all, Madrid?
I think so, but again, like I said at the start of this episode, Madrid's a very deep team. I think they're gonna see how the first leg goes, and if they have a substantial lead over Chelsea after the first leg, I'm sure in the second leg we'll see them not play all their starters because they want to save them to try and win the league. But again, it all depends what happens in the first leg.
I can't imagine they do that in the second. Like, you never know what can happen. I mean, we've seen
I'm
Barcelona.
saying if they have like a 3-0 lead, they're not going to play all 11 of their starters.
Barcelona,
There's going to be
Liverpool,
some
Roma,
rotation.
Barcelona, PSG, Barcelona. I mean, all these Champions League 4-0, 3-0, another 4-0. I mean, you never know. Anything can happen, right?
No, I'm not saying they're not going to like. I'm not saying they're not going to play their starters, but I'm going to say we're going to see some more rotation if they have a larger lead.
That's very possible. Like you said, Real Madrid, a very deep team. Chelsea, a pretty deep team as well. But I would hope that Madrid doesn't play all their starters in their second leg. That'd be great for us. The comeback is possible if we go down substantially in the first leg. The top four is pretty much set in La Liga. We've got Barca, Madrid, Atletico, and then Sevilla. There's a
Oh yeah.
14-point gap between Sevilla and Sociedad at fifth place. Europa League battle's a different story. That one's obviously a bit tighter, but Sevilla will be playing Champions League football again. And then, of course, the big three in La Liga. I want to stay on the track of Madrid, but kind of go into the Champions League, talk a bit about Chelsea, Madrid, the sort of reunion that could be happening. Eden Hazard returning to play against his former club for the first time, also Thibaut Courtois, and then Mateo Kovacic on the other side. Do we think Hazard is going to be fit for the game?
From what I've seen, I think he's going to be. It's just a question of whether or not they're going to play him because, you usually don't want to play somebody in a game that's this big that, hasn't been playing very often due to injury. But again, he is a world-class player. Everybody kind of says, oh, like ever since he went to Madrid, he's just been injured. Okay, he still has the world-class talent. I still think he's one of the best left wingers in the world. And I hope we get to see him versus Chelsea because I'm not even saying this because I want Chelsea to lose, but I would love to see Hazard go back to Stamford Bridge and just light up the show. I think that would be so magical. And I mean, it'd be sad for Chelsea fans, but you can't tell me that you wouldn't be kind of happy that Hazard just
No.
went lights out.
We don't care. We don't want him to score against us. We want him to come back to Stamford Bridge and say hi to our players. We don't need him to score against us. That's not how it works. We don't need Thibaut keeping a clean sheet, although I can't imagine Thibaut's going to get quite the reception that Eden Hazard is going to get. Not that there's going to be fans in the stadium, but the social media, our fan base is pretty heavy, as a lot of the other football teams are. But we love Eden Hazard. We don't so much love Thibaut Courtois. So that's kind of a 50-50. Kovacic is injured for the next 3 weeks. He's going to miss the FA Cup semifinal against City on Saturday, and he's probably going to miss the first leg against Madrid. So that's Kovacic out in the first leg, Eden Hazard out in the first leg probably. So it's not really much of a reunion as I was hoping it was going to be. I was super excited. Oh, it's a Chelsea reunion with all the players. It's not really going to be if two of the three players are not even going to play. Like you said, Hazard is still a world-class player, but he's getting overshadowed by all these injuries. He's only made 9 appearances in 30 league games for Madrid this season and only 16 last season. Is Eden Hazard's career over, and do you think he will keep experiencing these injuries to a point where he just can't continue anymore?
No, I think his career is far from over. I think, he just hasn't had the chance he needs. Okay, we've seen so many players that had to go through, they go through injuries. They're athletes. It happens. I think once he can kind of find his form again, he'll be back to being amazing. I have no doubts about it. I love Hazard. I love watching him play. I think he's amazing on the ball and he's an amazing player. So I think once he can find a way to not get these little, I mean, a lot of the injuries have been little like 3-week injuries, but it's just consistently these little 3-week injuries. So once these little things can stop happening, I think we'll see him back in form.
I hope so, man. I mean, Eden Hazard is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Chelsea player of all time. Obviously, Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, but everybody in the world, I feel like, hates to see this because no one likes when a player goes to a big club and then just gets injured consistently. It's such a shame, and I really hope we get to play against him. But at the same time, I don't really want that because you never know. I don't, like you said, I don't want him to light up Stamford Bridge and whatever. Chelsea has a chance to, do well in these 2 legs and hopefully make it further than we are now. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna go on to this or that. I'm not gonna say it. I've done well not to say that the whole tournament, and it's worked nicely for me. Knock on wood there.
First of all, what are you talking about? When we were giving our predictions, you were like, "No, Chelsea's winning. Chelsea's winning."
You
did.
like to switch this stuff around. I'll tell you exactly what I said.
Of course you did.
If you guys pay attention to what I was saying in the clip, I was very humble about it. I said I think that it's going to be a very, very tough game. And I think Chelsea will win off of possession. I didn't say, yeah, Chelsea's got this. I didn't say that.
You said Chelsea would win.
But don't put that tone on it. Don't quote it like I
But
was
I'm
so
just
confident.
saying.
I
I'm
was
just
not
saying.
confident. I was very humble about it. And then even after we won the first leg, I said I'm not even going to make a second leg prediction because I don't want to jinx anything. I didn't even make a second leg prediction, and I did not even touch on it when Chelsea was playing Porto. I didn't even say it.
Well, okay, you got Man City luck in that draw.
I don't care.
Listen,
They beat Juve,
it was
and you
no,
guys can't beat Juve.
well, we're above Juve right now, but it's okay. But yeah, you guys played well versus Porto. I think
Thank you.
though, I have to say, um, I don't know if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be so happy about that because you have to go from playing Porto to playing Real Madrid. It's quite a big jump, and I think you guys playing City this weekend is going to help you kind of play the very, very high teams. Because again, it's very difficult to go from playing a very bad team to a very good team.
Who's the
Well,
very?
I'm not gonna say very Porto's very bad, but compared to Real Madrid, they're really not that
You would
compared.
have said that about Juve and Porto. I mean, you said Juve was 100% winning that game, and they lost. On
Look,
paper, it may look like that, but that's not the case.
Juve's not okay. Juve's not good in UCL. Also, if you watch that episode, I gave Porto credit, and then I said Juve's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
win it 100%.
Porto beat Chelsea in the second leg. No one really knows that. That's our
No,
first
yeah,
Champions
but it
League
doesn't really
loss.
matter.
That's our first Champions League loss this entire season. Mendy
Which, by
was,
the way, that goal,
I
I
mean,
mean,
uh,
it was incredible. If
well,
they would have drawn that game or won it, that goal would have been everywhere.
that's why I said it was the most useless, best goal I've ever seen. Because Iko's yelling at his mom.
Yeah.
Um, no, but listen, people don't understand this. Mendy went about 800 minutes without conceding an open play goal in the Champions League, but nobody wants to talk about that because it's Chelsea. If Chelsea do anything good, no one's going to give them credit. Oh, it's overrated. It's the same thing with Liverpool. Like everyone says, they're the most overrated Champions League winners and Premier League champions of all time. They still won the league. They still won the Champions League. They're there for a reason. I don't understand how you can really be overrated if you beat all the best teams in Europe. You say we got Man City luck in the draw. We may have drawn on paper the easiest team, sure. And you say Madrid is a hard team, right? It's not going to prepare us well for Madrid. It's better than facing off against Man City or PSG. I'd much
Yeah,
rather face
no,
Madrid.
but I'm saying practice wise, going from a team like Porto to a team like Real Madrid is going to be a big jump. I think you're going to need. I think Tuchel's new lineup is perfect for this game because
Mhm.
having the vets in is going to help you guys a lot. I think.
The only thing I'm scared about is Kovacic out. Again, I'm not saying we don't have bad replacements. Obviously, Conte coming off the bench, Georgie's still there as well. But Kovacic, there's something about like if you watch the Porto game, I don't know if you did, but I was watching the Porto game and I think it was a pretty even game. Obviously, Chelsea was sitting back a lot because we weren't trying to score goals. We were just trying to keep it out of the net. You could tell the difference that Kovacic makes when he steps on the field. I mean, he is everywhere. He's by far the best player on our team. I'm not saying this season, but as a whole, he has been. Um, Again, I'm not going to make too many predictions on the Madrid Chelsea game because I'm too scared. So
I
I'm gonna
do.
shy away from that.
I want to bring something up with Chelsea that I saw this morning. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know how true it is. I got it from a reliable source, but
Who's your source?
you never know. Uh, Chelsea possibly interested in swapping Hakim Ziyech, who's new to the team. He's been there for a year. Swapping him for Kunde from Sevilla, the defender.
No.
Why wouldn't you want to
Who's
do
your
that?
source? Who's your source?
Wait, hold on. I think it was BR Football or like Bleacher Report, like on the app.
I don't. Bleacher Reports. They
And
hear.
Bleacher Report told me that AC Milan was getting Milinkovic Savic. So again, there's reports that are. To be fair, they weren't wrong. We put in a deal that should have been accepted, but
Hey,
it
shout
didn't.
out at CFC news page on Instagram. They have the most. They get from the most reliable sources, and if it's not so much of a reliable source, they'll put in the caption like mixed history or not reliable or very reliable. You know what I mean? So we know the reliability of it. I haven't seen a single thing about Ziyech and
I
Kunde.
saw it I saw like a little thing this morning, and then like an hour ago, I was looking on Bleacher Report and it came up again. I mean, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm loving that. I think Koundé's amazing.
He is, but so is Ziyech. Why we can buy
Ziyech's not even playing for you,
we can buy Koundé.
but why? You need to save that money for maybe
You
Haaland.
don't need to save money.
For Haaland, yeah.
Probably not gonna go for
Any
Haaland.
team needs to save
That's
money
what I
for
want to
Haaland.
say. Holland and his agent, Raiola, we have to include his agent's name because he's the one making all the deals. He wants 35 million euros per year to the point where he's scared off a Big Six, undisclosed Big Six Premier League team. They wouldn't say who it is, but they backed off.
United, or Arsenal. They don't pay big bucks.
Or City or Chelsea, could have been anyone except for
Okay, not only that, Raiola wants 20 million for himself and 20 million for Haaland's father. So a team has to pay 20 million to the agent, 20 million to the father. That's 40 million. Plus probably around 150 for the transfer.
plus 35 million a year.
Plus 35 million a year. That's a big investment for a player who was pretty quiet when he faced off a big team like Man City. He didn't really do much in that game. I was very unimpressed by his performances. If I'm a big team, that's got to do something to your interest in him. I mean, are you willing to put that much money into a player who had 2 chances and didn't do anything in 2 games versus a big team?
Slow your roll here. I mean, you can't judge a player off of the fact that he had a couple bad games, right?
But that's like, besides playing Bayern, I'd say that's been his biggest test this year, was playing versus City, and he didn't perform versus them at all.
But what about last year in the Champions League when he scored a brace in the Champions League against PSG, against Neymar?
But I'm just saying that's got to do something to a team's willingness to go out and spend. This is a massive investment for any team in the world. I mean, you said earlier, like, Chelsea doesn't have to save money. Any team in the world would have to, think a lot before making an investment like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and on the topic of Mino Raiola, I'd just like to say,
is this Donnarumma thing or what?
Yeah, Donnarumma. He's now trying to get Juve to poach Donnarumma, and what's happening? What's happening? Why would Juve do that? They have no money. They're trying to figure out a way to get rid of Ronaldo so that they can have a little bit of money. They have like millions in wages per year for players that are riding the bench, and they have Szczesny. In what world are they going to get Donnarumma? In what world?
What was the point of just bringing up Szczesny there?
Because they have a very strong keeper right now. Why would they go and get Donnarumma?
But he's getting old though. Szczesny's not going to be the number one for that long. I mean, they
don't have the money.
If they sell Szczesny,
Mino Raiola is asking for 10 million a year for Donnarumma. He'd become the second highest paid player in Serie A behind Ronaldo. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the highest. I don't know if I'm putting Donnarumma behind him. Listen, he's the best. He's going to be the best goalie in the world.
Right, bro.
He's not 10 million right now.
Bro, tell me this isn't the most AC Milan deal ever, though. It would be like Szczesny plus like 50 mil for Donnarumma. Tell me AC Milan 100.
No. Right now we're in talks with Juve for doing Romagnoli for Bernardeschi. And now Juve, there's the idea that we're going to do a swap deal with Donnarumma. I'm like, we don't have a contract with him yet. We can't do a swap deal. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
AC Milan they sometimes get the good deals done, but sometimes it's kind of like.
First of all, I'd just like to say, ever since the Americans took over, we've had the best financial
financial coverage.
Yeah. In all of soccer, no question. But
just talking about in all of soccer, no.
Out of any team, 100%.
Man City.
No. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. I mean like the deals we get done, like that we get players for very cheap. We usually don't pay them that much, and we have a player like Hakan, who's on what, $1.5 million per year, and he's one of the best players in Serie A. We have, our team is, first of all, hold on, no, he's not. He's like 20.
Sorry, I don't mean old. I mean he's getting to the point where he's not.
He's entering his prime right now. He's entering his prime. 100%.
He's in his prime right now.
No, last season was his first year of his prime.
I just don't see that. He was
the best cam in Serie A. You know what I
Dybala,
would do?
Dybala is
You know what I
clear
would do?
though. Time out. Dybala is clear.
Dybala doesn't play, so it doesn't count. Uh, he's
This
played
AC Milan
he's
bias is
played 3 games this year. He's played 3 games this year out of 30. You can't tell me you're going to include him in there. I would do Donnarumma for Dybala. I'm not going to lie. I love Donnarumma,
Let's
but
check this out. Let's see.
Dybala is
3 games.
no. It might be like 6. I don't know. It's something. It's in the single digits.
Let's see. You might be right. Listen. Yeah, 13.
Okay, a third of the games.
Yeah, because he's been injured.
No, he rides the bench as well. He was injured for a little bit, but he rides the bench.
Hold on.
Rides the bench.
He missed 9 straight games with an MCL injury.
Okay, what about the other 10 games?
He's been on the bench.
No.
No. Let me tell you something. I have the full stat right here. In the first game of the season, he missed it due to a thigh problem. The next 2 games, he was on the bench, probably recovering. Then he had muscle fatigue, and the game after that, he was on the bench. And then he has not been on the bench since. He's played every single game, and then he's been injured in the other games.
That's crazy, but he wants transferred because he doesn't get game time.
But he does get game time. He doesn't play because he's injured.
He is one of the best cams / center forwards, whatever you want to count him, in the world. He should be starting in every single game.
He does.
He's asking out. So he's obviously not happy.
Eco, he does start in every game that he
doesn't. He rides the bench a lot.
Again, I just pulled up the stat.
Okay.
He's been on the bench for 3 games this whole season, and it was right after an injury all the time.
It's okay. He rides the bench. It's okay.
Guys, I just want to say sorry for this typical AC Milan bias from Eco. It hurts.
Best team in the world.
Best team in the world in 2007. That's one.
Not even.
We just won the Champions League in 2007, so I would assume you're the best. Yeah. Oh, you don't even know your own history, but I do.
2007? No.
Yeah, buddy.
Was it 07?
Yep, 2007 and 2003.
2012 was the last season we were good until last year.
Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012. Let's go.
They won't repeat this year.
I won't say anything.
I want to talk about that real quick.
I don't.
I was so sad that PSG and Man City got paired up in the semis, because if they were on either side, they're going to be that'd be an incredible final. I mean, obviously UEFA, they kind of mess with who gets to play who. They could have at least made it. No, we know. They could have at least given us a nice final. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't want to watch PSG or City play versus. The worst in the world would be to see City versus Chelsea, because I'm sorry, but that just would not be a fun game.
It's kind of like saying, I mean, the most boring Champions League final that I've ever seen was Liverpool Tottenham.
The 1-0.
2-0, but like in the last minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Divock Origi, Liverpool legend. I do want to ask you now that you're bringing up the Champions League and getting more into the matchups. PSG, Man City, arguably the 2 strongest teams in the competition left. Who do you think can go on?
PSG. I think City. I mean, they've been messing around all year and just don't have a striker, and Aguero's out. Like, they have no attack and their defense, yes, is good. It's not fast enough to keep up with Neymar and Mbappe. I mean, we saw them counter Bayern, who was the strongest team in the world, and they were counterattacking them so easily because they just have so much pace at the top. It's I think this is finally PSG's year.
And it's hard to say unless the team has had a dramatic downfall after winning the Champions League, which Bayern has not. It's kind of hard to say that the team that beats the defending champions aren't going to win, right? So it seems like PSG have the strongest side, then Man City. Chelsea don't really have the strongest side. Madrid's probably 3rd strongest in the Champions League.
I'd say Chelsea is the weakest link in these out of these 4.
I would agree. However,
also because you guys are a lot of your players are very young, so they don't have the experience that the players on Madrid do, where they're basically playing in this position every year. City hasn't made it to the semis in a long time, so their vets don't really know what it feels like.
It's ever, by the way. I could be completely.
I think it's ever under Pep.
But look at Man City's history. I mean, in the year 2000, 2001, they were in the championship. Like, I can't imagine. I don't think they were in the Champions League semifinal unless it was like way back then. Maybe we get a Google check on that.
Yeah.
But while you're Googling that, Chelsea were sixth place in the Premier League when they won the Champions League in 2012. They were the major underdogs going into that match, obviously. Um, so anything can happen. It's the Champions League. That's the beauty of it. Anything can happen. Uh, but yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Man City's been in the semifinal ever.
Semifinals, they lost to Real Madrid in 2015,
2015.
2016.
I literally, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
That was under Pellegrini.
Yeah. Was it Pellegrini
Or
back then?
Mancini, one of them. I don't know. I think it was
Maybe.
Pellegrini.
Yeah.
But okay, so and then that was like the three-peat Madrid team. It's kind of unfortunate there, but
It's so sad. Do you think I have a question for you because
yeah,
we touched a little bit on the Juve Ronaldo situation.
Mhm.
You think Ronaldo's leaving?
I don't think I don't see why he would. Juventus
Really?
need him. Ronaldo doesn't need,
Desperately.
but in all fairness, I mean, it would make sense why Ronaldo maybe wants to get a new challenge like he did when he left Madrid, or if he wants to go back to his home in Manchester and join Manchester United. But I don't know why he would do that. He's first of all, he's living in Italy. Who doesn't want to live in Italy,
Well,
right?
he's living in Torino. It's not that nice there.
I don't know where if Turin's nice or anything, but I don't think he's gonna leave. To be honest with you, he's obviously been the top scorer in the Serie A for 2 years now, 2 years straight. 3 years
Pens.
straight?
Pens.
Is it 3 years straight or no?
Probably. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, he's one of the.
Minus the pens, he's like fourth or fifth. I'm
I mean,
pretty sure.
By the way, I hate talking about the Serie A with you guys. I hate school. I hate homework. I hate talking about the Serie A
He's
with
a
you.
pen merchant. He's a pen. No, I can't say that. I love Ronaldo.
Say that and post. All right, we're posting that on TikTok, guys. Comment down below if you think Ego's insane for saying Ronaldo's a pen merchant. Really?
I think first of all, he gets a lot of pens. But
what do you want to do? Miss him?
He's an amazing player. He's an amazing player. Just like people say, oh, Bruno's a pen merchant. Sure, he gets a lot of pens, but he's still an amazing player.
Well, then that just debunks your own argument there, bud.
No, I just said he's a pen merchant. He's still an amazing player, but he's a pen merchant.
Should he miss the pens?
Yeah. Same thing he does with the free kicks every time. You know, I'm pretty sure he doesn't take the free kicks for them anymore. I'm pretty sure they stopped giving it to him. But okay, back to him leaving. I think Juve should look into selling him because they don't have a lot of money right now. They don't have a high spot in Serie A for now. If they don't finish, second or first, I feel like they're gonna be in need of some sort of, some sort of cash. And I think the best way to do that is to sell Ronaldo or Dybala, two of their stars. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them go.
Which one do you think is a better offload for Juve?
I think Ronaldo because of his wages, and also Dybala has a good amount of years left in him.
I would say he's in his prime, right?
Yeah.
Again, the injury takes its toll. Well, it's hard to say. The injuries take a toll. Eden Hazard was in his prime when he left Chelsea, and then now he's obviously not because of his injuries. But you never know. It's hard to judge. Bro, can we talk about how Man City just finessed everybody and got Kaiki from Fluminense? Like, I hadn't even heard about this guy until he scored an amazing solo goal in the Brazilian Serie A. But they opened talks with him. Man City opened talks with him in January. How come no other teams were going after this guy?
I mean, I think that just goes to show you how good the scouting Man City has. I mean, under the radar of everybody, they found this amazing kid. And as soon as everybody's kind of realizing how good he is, boom, City's already gotten him. I mean, it's all about the scouts you have around the world. And they have all the money in the world. They can get the best scouts out there. So they're going to find players like this. But my question is this going to be kind of like another Ferran Torres where he's amazing in his league? He gets brought to City. Everybody's like, wow, how did they pull that off? That's such a good deal. Rides the bench, gets subbed in a couple times. Plays amazing when he gets subbed in. They just don't play him.
It's impossible to say right now because he's 17 years old right now. He can't join the team until, well, they said June 2022, even though he'll be 19 in June. By the way, for reference, if you guys remember Parker on the podcast, they've got the same birthday. So he is the same exact age as Parker. and this guy's about to play for Man City. So he'll be able to join the team in June 2022. So he'll be a bit older. He'll be 18, 19 when he gets to Man City. He may develop to a lot better player than he is now. Keep in mind, he's so young. He's already tearing up the Brazilian Serie A. So it really just depends. I can't answer that question right now because I don't know how he's going to play in 2 years or a year.
Yeah, and I mean, City's got a bright future ahead of them. All these amazing youngsters. I mean, they're top right now, and I think they're going to stay top for a pretty long time if they can keep a team like this together. And you know, we saw this weekend their youth coming in, or not this weekend, this week, their youth Phil Foden. I mean, he basically sent them through. He was amazing in both legs. I think this kid, everybody talks about, you know, Haaland and Mbappe are going to be, you know, the carrying football for the next 10, 15 years. People have got to start putting Phil Foden into that conversation. I think he's an amazing player. And again, people know he's good, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is.
And I'll tell you why he doesn't get enough credit. It's because he plays in the Premier League, which, you know, the fans are crazy in the Premier League. So it's always going to be a debate between Saka, Foden, Mount, Greenwood. Every team has their youngster that they're putting out. So he's not going to get enough credit because no matter what, if someone says Foden's clear of everyone, the Man United fan's going to say, no, Greenwood is. The Chelsea fan's going to say Mount is. The Arsenal fan's going to say Saka is.
None of them are comparable to Foden.
They absolutely are. They're not. Foden's not that clear. I for sure.
Foden is very clear.
Foden is the best youngster in the Premier League, but I hate that people say he is that far clear because he's definitely not.
I think he is.
And why?
100%.
Put him on Arsenal. Do you think he's that clear, or is it because he plays for Man City?
Well, we don't know because at Man City, look at how he's performing. Yeah, in the Premier League, he's performing well. He's performing in big matches, which is something that a lot of great players struggle with. They don't always show up in the big matches. He's playing incredible in the Champions League, which is where all the best teams in the world play.
Right.
Again, I say he's far clear, but now thinking about it, you can't. Bukayo hasn't been given the chances, but like Mount's been given the chances.
And he's scored.
I love Mount, but I would take Foden over Mount.
I'm not saying you wouldn't. But you can't say he's that far clear of Mount or even Greenwood. By the way, can I point something out with Greenwood and Saka? People are saying that Saka's having the best season of his life, 13 goals and assists. 14 goals and assists because he scored one today. Greenwood is underperforming according to everybody, and he's also got 14 goals and assists. Can you explain that to me?
I think it's because Greenwood's playing on a really good team and Saka's playing on a really bad team. So Saka being able to do that with no one around him, even though he has a good amount of players, but they just don't play well. You know, I think a lot of people think he's much better than he is. No, he's very good, but a lot of people, you know, hold him higher than the rest of them because he plays on such a bad team, whereas Mount, Greenwood, and Foden play on good teams.
And that is why I think it's unfair to say Foden is that clear of everybody.
Skills and talent, I think Foden's so clear.
If you put Phil Foden on Arsenal, I say he has the same season that Saka's having right now. And if Saka plays for Man City, Saka's clear of everyone, according to all the fans. It's that simple. You play for a good team, you have the best players in the world surrounding you, you're going to be one of the top names on that list. That's just how it is.
But if you're the best youngster in the world, you're going to be on the top team always, almost always.
Thanks. It's kind of it's hard to judge, like, you know, like they say Wilfried Zaha, right? He's the best on his team in Crystal Palace. Would he do a job at Bayern Munich? Would he do a job at Real Madrid? We don't know. It's tough. It's really hard to judge all that. He's very good for Crystal Palace, but is he one of the best players in the world if you put him on a good team?
Speaking of, I want to talk about Saint Maximin.
Oh.
This kid, he's amazing. Sadly, he's on Newcastle.
Doing it at Newcastle.
He's amazing. Why is he on such a bad team? I mean, yeah, this is like he has good stints and then he's kind of, you know, back to meh. But this season he's proven that he is very good. I think he needs to get out of Newcastle as fast as he can.
Yeah, he's kind of using Newcastle as like playground, basically. I mean,
Odegaard with Arsenal.
And Don't look, Luke. Sorry, Luke, man. Listen. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because I remember hearing the name of the new rising star, Alan Saint-Maximin, in Nice. And you think, oh, he's in a small Ligue 1 club and he's gonna make a move to Dortmund or he's gonna make a move to City. He makes a move to Newcastle. It's like you see a lot of the rising stars go to the Premier League just to get into the Premier League and go to a worse team.
Moise Kean.
Ismail Sarr, who's now in the Championship, he's definitely Premier League level, but he went to Watford. Like we see that happen a lot. But he's been there for quite some time to the point where you think he's going to think to himself, I deserve to be on a better team. But I haven't heard a lot of transfer rumors about Saint-Maximin, so I don't know where he's going to end up. Maybe he likes staying at Newcastle. I don't know.
I mean, it's a very similar situation to Moise Kean to Everton, because when he was on Juve, he was amazing. Went to Everton. I mean, he was good, but he was on Everton. They weren't very good at that point. Goes to PSG. He's playing amazing with PSG right now.
Who's next to him?
Yeah, but you need those players to be next.
I agree. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying.
You need to be surrounded by good talent to be good.
Right. I mean, who would you rather? Go ahead.
I mean, I do this as well, but I hate when people say like, "Oh, like put him on a bad team and he wouldn't be the same," and you're just like,
"That's what I was just saying
obviously." No, but Phil Foden's built different. But he's a baller. He's a baller.
Don't say that. He's built different, man.
but yeah, I think it's a very similar situation. I think maybe a loan deal and then getting sold. He just needs to get out of Newcastle.
Yeah, like Moise Kean, exactly like him. I was actually going to bring that up before you said it. If he wants to get out of Newcastle, maybe ask for a loan and then see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure Kean is still going back to Everton, right? Or is there an option to buy? I don't.
There's actually no. There's reports. It's happening right now. He's supposed to be back at Everton next season. Right. Supposedly, there's been no contact with PSG and Everton, but PSG has said they want to keep him. But Everton is probably going to ask for a lot of money because he's been amazing. And if PSG is planning on having this amazing summer, like they say, of getting Sergio Ramos, Messi, maybe even Aguero now, they're not going to have the money to, and they're not going to have the want to go and get a player like Moise Kean, who sure has been good. But if you get Aguero, Messi, you're not going to need him in the attack.
That's exactly right. You know, that is the problem about the big teams is that you do need to find a way to fit in, because the big teams are not going to use homegrown players or get all the young players and, you know, give them a lot of playing time. They're just going to buy the best players in the world. So it's going to be hard to get the spot into the team. Going back a little bit, backtracking to Kayiki and Man City, forgot to mention Kaiki's teammate Matinho, who's also 17 right now, will also join Man City for $5 million. By the way, Kayiki is $10 million. So back to what you were saying, is this another pointless deal? It could be a pointless deal, but $15 million for two 17-year-olds who could be very good. That just seems like, oh, you might as well. It's only $15 million for Man City, right? Is that a good deal for them?
It's so funny that like, oh, it's only 15 million for Man City, but like almost every other team that isn't owned by these people who just throw around money is like, oh, 15 million. Like in my situation, like AC Milan, all we needed was like 7 million to get Chiesa, and we couldn't get it. And Man City's like, oh, let's just put 15 million. Yeah.
7?
They wanted 7 million more than what we offered, and the ownership wouldn't give it. The ownership wouldn't give it to us.
Was this the Americans or before?
This was over this summer when we got Tonali. Yeah, we were going to bring in Tonali and Chiesa, and look at how good Chiesa is doing.
7 million? Come on.
I love him, and it's so sad to see him playing good for another team. But
Chiesa would be fantastic for Milan.
Oh, he'd be amazing.
Because you guys...
We need a right winger. We are in desperate need of a right winger.
I wouldn't say AC Milan's a rebuild team, but I think you guys were entering that rebuilding stage, and now you're getting there. You've sort of rebuilt already in a way because you've gotten these young players. Chiesa would have been the cherry on top. And your board didn't give you 7 million euros, or I don't know, it was euros, right?
It's okay, because I mean, I'm very sad about it because he's so young and so good, but supposedly we're going to get Florian Thauvin, who's going to be, he'd be an amazing right winger for us. He'd provide us with the attack. I don't know. I hate free. He's on a free. He's not re-signing with Marseille. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good deal.
We were going to get him for a while, and then he like increased his wage demands, and now he's cut them in half to be able to play with us. So Hopefully we can get him.
I'd rather play for Milan than Marseille. Marseille had their little run in the Ligue 1.
I think now that if we can finish second, a lot more players are going to want to come to us because we've got an amazing coaching staff. We've got amazing facilities. We just needed that top 4 security, and now that we have it, I think we're going to see a lot more players coming to it.
By the way, that happens a lot. Leicester City, they won the league. That's why they got some of their players. They haven't really splashed too much cash on a lot of players if you really think about it. They have a lot of money considering they bought Mahrez and Conte for like $2 in a bag of chips and then sold them for 50 million or whatever it was. Although N'Golo Conte was pretty cheap, which is incredible. It was like 37 million for N'Golo Conte. Ridiculous. I wanted to bring up a thing in the. Oh, you had something else to say. Go ahead.
You brought up Conte. I was going to say, Conte moves soon?
No.
You don't think so?
Not yet. We need the end of the season because Tuchel is very rotational. So right now, the 3 CDMs, Georgie, Kovacic, and Conte, we don't really have a clear starter between Jorginho and Conte.
But it seems like he's favoring Jorginho.
Right. I mean, because Conte's dealt with injury, Jorginho, it's the thing where it's like, and you give that look, but it's the thing where it's like Conte's been injured. Conte's fully fit now, but he's not going to put him over Jorginho because if it's not broken, why fix it? Why are you taking Jorginho out if he's performing very well? So I'm not blaming on the injury now. Obviously, he's fully fit, but you're not going to change the lineup if we're winning every single game we're playing. Losing 2 games in Tuchel's reign, only 2.
I just don't think you need Conte. I mean, why not go and get 50 mil for him and then you can put that money towards getting a player like Haaland.
No, we need depth. Because look what happens. Our best CDM is injured for our 2 most important games of the season, a semifinal in the FA Cup and a semifinal in the Champions League. And if we sold Conte for 50 million, that leaves us with 50 million and no second CDM. And then we're stuck putting either an unnatural CDM in or putting Billy Gilmore in, who is not...
slander Billy Gilmore now?
No, I love Billy Gilmore. He had a wonderful game against Liverpool last year, but he's not ready to play back-to-back games against City and Madrid, especially after that torn ACL. He has not been the same. Trust me, I've seen the couple games that he's played. He has not been quite as good as he was last season. So we need depth. We are keeping Conte, and I really hope we are, actually. I don't know if we 100% are, but I hope we are, because that depth is just so important.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like you guys moving to this 3-back, I don't know if you're going to play, like, in your formation, do you really need a DM? Because you can basically have Kovacic and Jorginho playing center mids, and then Mount at cam, and then left mid, right mid, whatever, and then find yourself. I mean, if I was Chelsea, I'd play 2 strikers. I'd put Giroud and Werner up top because you get the pace with Werner, and everyone jokes about it. He's not the greatest finisher at the moment, so he provides pace, and then you have Jorginho who can finish it every time.
You mean Giroud?
Or Giroud, sorry, yeah, Giroud.
I was like, Jorginho, it's finishing.
Yeah.
Oh my!
No, I was like, no,
pen. That's Giroud, about it.
Not even anymore.
He's made his last 4 or 5, so enough of that. I used to say that I hated when Frank put Timo on the wing, and I was like, play him at striker. I disagree now. I love Timo on the wing. Timo needs to stay on the wing, and if you want to play 2 strikers, I don't really see the point of that. I like our wingers. Obviously, we have wing backs to come up. Timo on the wing is great. And in the middle is Kai Havertz, who is playing his best football of the season at striker, which is a position that we don't see him play often. He's playing Bobby Firmino's position, but he's not that defensive. Like, he's in the middle between a defensive striker, which is like center forward, and a true striker. I say defensive striker.
But is he? I mean, is he playing that? Because I saw that versus Porto, but is that a consistent thing where he plays there?
Well, he was sitting back against Porto because everybody was sitting back.
But you guys were playing him as your striker, basically.
By the way, I don't know.
Is that a consistent thing? No, I know he played striker last year.
I think Timo didn't even play at all against Portugal.
Oh no, I know. I know Havertz has played striker in the past.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he no consistently the last since we played Everton about 3 weeks ago to a month ago, more or less. He's been playing that number 9 position because you put him in striker. His first game playing striker, he scores a goal and forces a pen. Oh, hello. Where's that been? You know what I mean? Stop playing him at cam. Stop playing on the wing when you can play him at striker. He's a giant body. Timo Werner is not going to suit our style of play because we like to whip those balls in. Chilwell puts them in. Alonso puts them in. Reece James puts them in. Timo can't jump that high. We've seen him get his head on the ball, and it's like, what the hell was that?
he's a shorter player, so
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's good on the wing. I mean, Timo leads our team in goals and assists combined. People don't realize that because we don't have that.
Well, he had a very, very strong start to the season, and then it kind of slowed down.
No, he had a decent start of the season, but recently he's been getting assists. Nobody cares about that because people still see him as a striker. A lot of people that like to talk all the crap is exactly like you.
No, hold on. I love Timo. I just hate Chelsea.
Right. No, I get it. By the way, I've said this too many times on the podcast. Correct me if I'm wrong. You hate Chelsea and I hate Milan. I feel like just because of each other.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
I also don't like teams like that just spend all the cash. I prefer the teams that build up.
Well, I have to back my team either way. So
yeah. Exactly.
But no, a lot of people that I see on TikTok in the comments, oh, Timo didn't score today. Well, he assisted. You know what I mean? But people don't know that because they see him as a striker when in reality he's played more games on the wing than he has at the number 9 position this season. He's one of those players that I'm always going to back. That's the thing. So even if when he didn't score for 15 games straight, I was always backing him. Iko, you know that. It's to the point where it was kind of like, all right, Aiden, give it up now, right? Like, can we do a little flashback to episode? I don't know what it was, but we were doing our Premier League predictions. We're like, who's the top scorer in the Premier League this season? Oh, Timo Werner for sure. I said that.
I'm just saying, I've said from the start, City's on top.
Yeah, you did.
I also said Everton was going to win it in like episode 5 or something.
It was. I remember we titled the episode like Everton realistic expectations top 4. It's like, relax. Hold on. Come on now.
I said West Ham and relegation. I think
I was just gonna say
at the end of the season we need to go through that list and be like, oh god.
Not, by the way, not your fault that you didn't know Lingardinho was making an appearance. So.
True.
That's
I also I think I said like Tottenham 5. Oh, we need to talk about this.
Let's hear it.
We haven't had an episode about this since it came out.
Uh-oh.
Harry Kane leaving Tottenham.
Oh. Well, listen, Harry Kane
day.
probably, I'm about to get a lot of hate right now, maybe. Behind Lewandowski, Harry Kane is the best striker in the world.
Harry Kane is the best English striker ever.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Are you crazy?
Nope.
Ever?
Yep.
Alan Shearer?
Nope.
Stop.
Nope. If he had any sort of trophies, there would be no question about it. Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
No question. No question.
I don't believe
that's why I want him to go to a club where he can win trophies.
By the way, I know
gets 2-3 trophies. He's, I think, undisputed. The best English striker.
I know you hate that I'm about to say this because you don't really love. I'm not sure if you don't love this player, but you don't think he's as good as everyone says. I would say the 2 players I can think of right away that are English strikers that are better than Harry Kane is Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer.
What do you think I have against Wayne Rooney?
Well, because we were talking about it last episode, and you're like, "Oh, Wayne Rooney's not even in the conversation of best."
I don't think he is. I think Harry Kane. I think you can make a conversation for Alan Shearer, but I think Harry Kane's up top. And he's still got years left on his career.
He does, and you're right. He does, but
he just needs a few trophies.
Is he going to break Shearer's record? Is he going to win?
I think whether he does. Again, I think if he gets the trophies, it's all his.
Which, by the way, he could have been at that point. You know, Tottenham came close to winning the league. Tottenham was in the Champions League
close
final.
To Champions League, yeah.
Right. So he could have had those trophies, which he's most likely going to leave Tottenham, which is what you were just bringing up 2 seconds ago. A lot of people were saying, like, I remember when the news came out, everyone was posting pictures of Harry Kane in a Man City shirt. Pep Guardiola said in an interview or in a press conference, we are not buying a striker. And I don't know if that means he's not going to splash
No,
money.
no. He said right now. He didn't say we're not buying one. He said right now we don't need one. So
No,
why
he
would we
said in a
buy
press
one?
conference, we are not
He
going
didn't flat out say we're
to.
not.
He did.
We are not going to sign any striker for the next season.
He didn't say no. I watched the interview. He
What are you
said
talking
he
about?
didn't say he didn't say we're not going to.
We are not going to.
They're buying Haaland.
They're
Bro,
not-
sugarcoat it all you want. They're buying not sugarcoat it, like cover it up all you want. Haaland's going there.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because Pep,
I think Dortmund will sell him this summer.
I
They're
don't
gonna
know.
lose a lot of money on him if they don't.
I
Because
do
he's
want to
not
speak
staying.
a bit more about Harry Kane, just because
Yeah,
Eco and I tend to get sidetracked when it's just the two of us. We need Luke so we can have a more formal conversation about this stuff. But Harry Kane, I'd like to see him out of the Premier League. If you want to say that Harry Kane's the best English striker of all time, have him do it in another league. Because you know what Wayne Rooney and Shearer didn't do is be world class in another league.
But if he goes to another league, will he get as much recognition? And what team would take him?
Bayern Munich would buy him next.
Why? They have Lewa.
Imagine Lewandowski and Harry Kane. No, I'm
That's
just
way
throwing
too
out that
slow.
team.
They need a little bit of pace.
It's not like they have the fastest wingers in the world. They're not gonna play two strikers. I was just saying a big team, but like,
But that's the issue. No big teams really need a striker at the moment.
imagine Juve sells Ronaldo and then in comes Harry Kane at Juve. How ridiculous does that sound?
That is the downgrade of the century, though. Ronaldo to Kane. Not of the century, but that's a pretty large downgrade.
I
Also,
don't know.
they need the money, so they're not going to sell Ronaldo to buy someone else.
Right, but is it the biggest downgrade? Because, like I said, Harry Kane is the second best striker in the world right now behind Lewandowski. He is underrated because he plays for Tottenham. He's got to get out of there. He needs to leave.
100%. 100%.
And if he is able to prove it in another league, then I could talk about best English striker of all time.
Barcelona.
I'm just thinking that.
They've got Griezmann.
Watch Benzema leave Madrid.
I think if he's going to leave Madrid, he's going to go back to France somewhere.
Well,
I don't think he's going to go to a big club.
Keep in mind, Suarez has been said that he's going to leave Atletico. They're stuck without a striker. They don't have Morata. They don't have.
Joao Felix.
Yeah, but he's the second striker. If they want a true number 9, Harry Kane's the best guy to get. Tottenham doesn't care where he goes. They just want the money.
Well, Tottenham, Jose in, Jose out. Dele Alli supposedly is Jose out. Did you see that photo?
I didn't.
On a live stream, it might have just been a coincidence, but on a live stream, someone writes, "Touch your hat if you're Jose out," and he goes like this. It could have been a coincidence, but Dele Alli might be Jose out.
If you watch the what was it? The Amazon Prime All or Nothing from Tottenham, like
my favorite show.
Yeah,
it was
Dele
amazing.
Alli didn't. They had a decent relationship, but Dele Alli wasn't getting enough playing time. He was trying to find a move away, all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if I were Dele Alli. I'd probably be Jose out.
That's got to be. I mean, if you're open about it, that there must be something in the locker room where they might all want to change.
It's the thing where every player secretly loves when the manager. Every player that doesn't play secretly loves when the manager gets sacked because they know they have a chance.
Exactly, a new manager. I mean, it happened with Chelsea.
Marcus Alonso.
Tuchel came in, and not just Marcus Alonso, Aspie, Jorginho wasn't playing that often. I mean, a lot of new. I think it's just they come in with a fresh mind, and every player just basically has to prove himself. But does this like? I mean, I'd say it was a pretty bad Jose era in Tottenham. Does this kind of ruin his coaching portfolio?
Everyone said that when he took the job at Spurs. You know what I mean? Because he comes from winning the Champions League in Porto, winning many league titles, Chelsea, Madrid, right? We know he's had he's one of the most decorated managers, right? In terms of doing it in pretty much every league you can think of. He comes to Man United, everyone's like, he's already past his prime. He wins the Europa League, not bad. He's past his prime when he goes to Spurs and he's won absolutely nothing. It's tough to say because Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, for example, did it for years and years and years and years with one team. which is fantastic. It's unbelievable. Jose is not quite at that level of those two guys, obviously. But I think that if Jose gets out, he's got a chance. He's got a chance to become a world-class manager again.
Does he go somewhere else? And who's going to take him after
He's not going to retire. He says that he belongs on the pitch. There's no way if he gets sacked, he's going to retire.
But what big team is going to take him after this? No big team at the moment is in the. Is any big team in the need for a new manager? No.
Well, Barcelona.
Well, hold on. But did you see the Bayern Munich? Flick gone.
I did. He's confirmed gone. Why?
But I'm confused because, like, who parted ways with who?
If Bayern Munich parted ways with Flick and they said that he should leave, I think they've already got some big guy they're about to bring in.
But who's bigger than Flick? Flick brought them so many trophies. He was there for a season, too. A season, 2 seasons.
Yeah, this is the season.
Yeah, exactly. And he's gotten them so many trophies. Why?
It might be a club legend coming in. I'm just saying, like with Chelsea.
I don't care.
Sorry, listen. Sorry, won the Europa League with Chelsea. So it's like, why would you sack him? They sack him and they bring in Frank Lampard.
Okay, it's one thing to win I'm not discounting you guys winning the Europa League. Everybody's freaking out about how much he's done for Bayern. Do you think this is because they got knocked out in the quarterfinals? It can't be.
No, because I remember they announced that before they got knocked out.
Okay.
They announced it before. It can't be that. But I was shocked because it's like, why? There's not really a point to it. But it's Bayern Munich. Can take Flick off the sideline and have there be no manager on the touchline for Bayern? Are they still going to win games?
Thomas Muller's their manager. He'd replace him.
What if he becomes a player manager? How sick would that be? He won't, but what if he does?
It could have been Flick parting ways because he's going to become Germany's manager now. So he might have wanted to he might have been like, there's nothing else I can do here. I've done everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Löw just I don't know if he got fired, but he just left the German national team. So that's why.
No. Flick is already confirmed to be German's manager.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's why he's leaving.
But why would you leave Bayern for Germany?
Because he's won everything he can win in one season. So why waste another year doing the same thing you just did last year when you can manage your home country?
Because he has the chance to with this Bayern team, if he manages them for 5 years, he could be one of the greatest managers of all time. They don't lose except versus PSG. They don't lose.
They don't lose except for the most important game of the
I guess.
So Jose, I don't think is going to Bayern. Remember, Allegri's still out there.
What club legend could there be?
I mean, they could go for Robin if he retires. They could go for Ribéry if he retires.
I don't think either of them are going to.
Well, I'm sure there's some older legends that will come. Oliver Kahn, what if he comes in? Goalkeeper. I mean, Manuel Neuer decides to do a cheeky little
I don't know. I think it's a bit of an out there situation.
If I was in his position, if I were in his position, and I've won all 5 trophies I could possibly win in one season, and I got the chance to manage the United States, obviously not a big team compared to Germany, but that's my home country, I would 100% do it. I've done everything I can, literally everything I can. And then obviously my goal as a USA manager is not to win the World Cup, but it definitely is Flick's job as German manager to possibly win the World Cup. So that's the only trophy that he needs to win.
You're gonna sit there and tell me that you would leave this Bayern Munich team to coach the US national team?
After I've won every single thing?
No. You're in Flick's position right now. Yeah. You'd leave to coach the US national team.
I think it's a more fair comparison.
No. What you said is that you will leave to coach the US.
I know, and I need to say this.
I just need a confirmation that that's what you said.
Hold on. A more fair comparison would be to say, what if I was the manager of the Columbus Crew and I won the CONCACAF Champions League and the MLS Cup? Would I go leave for the US? Because it's the same country.
No.
You said
Bayern. You said Bayern to
All
USA.
right. I was saying USA because that's my country. Obviously, the U.S. national team is not even close to Bayern Munich, obviously. But look at the German national team. Look at the young stars they've got. And then look at the whole team they've got. They've got Werner and Havertz. They've got Kimmich, right? They've got Rudiger, Rudanki. They've got Manuel Neuer, Ter Stegen. I mean, they've got one of the best teams in the world, one of the best national teams.
They don't perform. Also, you forgot Tony Cruz, who's 100% one of the greatest midfielders.
Tony Kroos, yeah, Tony Kroos. I'm not, on the spot there. Yeah, well, you notice how I named the Chelsea boys first.
Yeah. Werner, Rudanki, and
why did I bring Rudiger? By the way, Rudiger's been absolutely fantastic. We were making fun of him, but he's been playing very, very well.
Yeah.
One thing about Rudiger that I want to bring up now. I don't know if you saw, but today, Atletico Madrid center back Savic was just given a 4-match ban for the elbow against Tony Rudiger in the Champions League. Are you kidding?
So poor.
It's absolutely a red card in my opinion, but a 4-match ban, I mean, how soft is that?
We talked about it before. The game's just soft now. The foul, Cavani on Son, that's not a foul. In what world is that a foul? The game's just soft. And it's players like Neymar who have gone and done this because he's an icon for all these young stars. And you see him diving like I love him as a player, but he dove like 100 times in the 2 legs with Bayern. So many times he was just going down. You touch him and he's down. All these players looking up to him, they're just going to do the same thing because it works. Yeah, but the game's just soft now.
And also, America's not a big soccer country. But even during the World Cup in 2018, Neymar became a meme in American culture because he dove so much in the World Cup. He is the biggest diver in the world.
Well, because in America, we're used to watching American football where they hit each other and you see you see professional soccer, the most popular sport in the world, and a guy gets the best, one of the best players out there gets touched and falls to the ground.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The game is absolutely soft.
I mean, not just with fouls, but also refs nowadays. I mean, it was a complete mistake by Ibra, but he told the ref to go home, and the ref gave him a straight red.
I saw that.
Simply, he didn't say. I get it. Like Rebic got a red once for saying like, "Oh, you were bought." Fine, I can see that. Ibra said, "Go home," and he gets a straight red, no question about it. I mean, that's just poor, and refs have been awful lately. I mean, watching Champions League just the past 2 days, you hear the announcers go, "Wait, what was that call?" Like they'll be like, "Okay, corner," and you just like, what was it? It was the Dortmund game. Hits the ball's going over, and he pushes it over. They give a goal kick, and they're like, "Wait, how is that possibly a goal kick?" Like I'm happy VAR isn't getting into play for that because like that. I mean, don't bring VAR in to see if the ball went out of bounds, like from where, but like as a ref, you just got to be much better. I think reffing is just awful.
They rely on VAR too much. They say, "Oh, I missed that. I don't, whatever. I'll just look at VAR," and then they get to look at it 10
But
times.
they don't look at VAR.
It's inconsistent.
There's so many times where they just don't look at VAR, and you're just like, "Wait, what?"
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the divers are just ridiculous. You say that stuff about the referees, right? Ibrahimovic's red card. I think unnecessary for Ibra to say that, but at the same time, not worthy of a red card. You look at the NHL and you see and you hear players cussing out refs, and they're just like, all right, keep it moving. Like they don't care, right? And then you see Ibra saying, "Go home" to a ref and gets sent off.
But go home. That's not. I wouldn't even say that's a yellow card.
It's not derogatory.
He said go home.
Did he say go home though? Do we know that for sure?
He said no, 100%. They've confirmed it already. He said go home. And now he's banned, and we have to rely on maybe Mandzukic, which will not be fun for a game.
The thing about what's going on nowadays is if you so much as touch a player and he falls, you're getting sent off no matter what. Because they see that pain is subjective. If you touch a guy in his face and he acts like he just got shot, the referee can't say, "Oh, you're faking it," so he has to give a card. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think we need to see more cards for simulation and to do it more consistently so it tells players, hey, if you dive, this is what happens, and you can't escape that. Because right now, everyone's getting away with diving, and it's just terrible.
it's just become as sad as it is, it's just become a part of the game. It's so engraved into the game now that to figure out a way to it'd be just way too hard to remove from the game because you'll be seeing players getting yellows left and right.
Yeah, well, that's why I think that it's necessary. If you keep getting booked for diving, then it should tell you, hey, stop diving.
But
Again,
then that brings in the question of what if they don't dive and get booked for diving? Then we're having this
we've
same
seen that before.
conversation but we'll have the same conversation if Werner gets tackled and they go, oh, he dove and gets a second yellow and he's off. Then we're
By the way,
having
I
the
saw
same
that in
conversation.
Chelsea a few years ago. Alvaro Morata got tackled in the box and they called it simulation. He got sent off. It was a double yellow. He got a first yellow. We see that a lot. We just don't see simulation enough. It's like simulation cards enough because you're right. You can't really tell if he's really diving or not. But it's like if you're going to go to VAR at least, some of these VAR calls that I see, it's like, are you kidding? He touches his neck. Obviously, you don't choke a player. But if you touch his neck and he falls like that, come on, give me a break. That's not a red card. If anything, that's a foul. And it's a yellow for the guy who's getting his hand on his neck because he dove. It's just, you can tell if he's selling it or not. It's ridiculous.
I mean, back in the day, I remember watching Suarez take
Back
a
in the day.
bite out of Chiellini. Ref didn't care. Ref did not care at all. I don't think he got a red. I'm pretty sure he got it.
Because the referee, I don't think, I feel
No. Chiellini ran over and showed him like bleeding from the neck, and I'm pretty sure he just got a yellow. I mean, nowadays that's 10-match ban. Like
Suarez was banned.
No, but I'm just telling you. Like, look at the difference. He used to be able to bite a player, which should never have happened. But he bit a player, got a yellow. Nowadays, you touch a player, red card, banned for 2 games.
It is funny because of the Suarez video where he bites Chiellini. Chiellini obviously like goes down to the ground. By the way, not saying, I don't want to say he over exaggerated it, but Chiellini,
he got bit. He has the right to over exaggerate.
Fall down. You got bit. Ow, that hurt. Don't fall down. But
you had to sell it. You had to sell it.
Exactly. That's the problem. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't have to sell it. That's the worst part. You see,
but
Suarez,
that's the problem with the refs. You have to sell.
That's what I was going to bring up. The funny thing about the video is that when Suarez takes a bite out of Chiellini, he falls to the ground. Suarez is like, that looks suspicious. So he starts holding his mouth and falls to the ground. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But it's just, there's no place for that stuff in the game. But before we were born, many years before we were born, the game was not like that. I say that off of highlights and from older players talking about it. But that used to never happen. It used to be like one of the toughest sports. And nowadays it's a sport for little boys, people say. Like, that's what everyone says now. And as a guy who plays soccer myself, I hate that everyone just automatically hates it because of all these floppers. Listen, we could go on about this for hours. I'd love to do this again when Luke is back on the podcast because I want to see what he thinks about it. I know what he thinks about it, but I want him to provide his intel. We're going on to a game. We have a new game for you. It's I don't really have a name for it, but basically I have found/created 5 quotes. And Iko, you have to tell me whether or not it is a real quote from a player or manager or not. Okay?
Do I get like, will you tell me like who quoted it so I can see? Oh.
No, because then you know if a player said it. You just have to say, is it?
You want me to say player or manager?
No. You just have to say, is it an actual quote or not? I've made up some quotes and I've gotten actual quotes from players. And you have to basically say player, manager, or Aiden. Okay.
Okay.
Quote number 1. If you said as much as, how are you to him, he would then be injured for 2.5 months. Is that a real quote or a fake quote?
I mean, that just sounds too English, like too American to be a manager.
By the way, it can be a player too. Yeah.
I'm going to go with player or manager.
The correct answer is player or manager. Emmanuel Adebayor speaking about Tomasz Rosicky, basically comparing the midfields of Chelsea, saying how they were stronger and Arsenal's was not so strong. Second quote, we're looking for an apartment. If we don't find anything, then I'll probably just buy the hotel.
That's got to be a player manager. You're not coming up with that.
Wow. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic when he moved to PSG.
Yeah. Okay.
I managed to fail art in a class where my uncle was the teacher.
Wait, no, that's a player manager. I've heard that interview before.
Richarlison said that.
Yeah.
We have 2 more left. Will you keep your nerve, or will you start getting antsy that there hasn't been an Aiden quote yet?
Wait. Oh, I thought that was the quote you were saying. I was
No,
like,
no,
wait,
no.
what? No, I don't know.
By the way,
You might go all 5 players, which will mess with me.
well, I have to mess with you. You know, I can't like
Yeah.
alter, you know. Quote number 4. Supporting Crystal Palace is like supporting a 10-year-old in a foot race against Usain Bolt. Is that a player manager or an Aiden?
Say it again.
Supporting Crystal Palace is like supporting a 10-year-old in a foot race against Usain Bolt.
Player manager.
That is an Aiden quote.
Oh.
And the last quote. I expected more from this season. It's a shame my players don't know how to kick a football.
Oh, that's got to be you. You're talking about Timo.
Wow. Wow. It's an Aiden quote. You're correct. But I'm definitely not talking about Timo. Oh, my. Okay, you've gone 4 for 5. I'd like to say that I consider this a win for myself, considering that I made a quote that you thought was a player manager. So I was just trying out that new game because I was like, what can we do when Luke's not here? It's hard to do a competition game, so I might as well just look for some quotes and make up some quotes. Yeah, that does it for this episode of Inside the D. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.